So today I have another haul. I went to Joann's this month because it's student discount month where you get 20% off your entire purchase as long as you have a valid student ID. And it was also Friends and Family month where they send you a bunch of 50% off coupons which you can choose to share or you can use them all yourself. I used them all myself and I also stole my mom's coupons, so I ended up having 8 50% off coupons plus my student discount, and that made it worth the trip for me. So I thought I would go through this and show you guys what I got, and more than that, just show you what I'm going to be making in the future, because I have plans for most of this stuff and I'm sure you'll see it either on my blog or on this channel in the near future turned into something other than a folded pile of fabric. So the first thing that originally motivated me to go into Joann's is not a very exciting thing. It's 2 yards of fusible felt weight interfacing. And as you can see, I've already used some of this. I used it the night I got it because I was making a hat to go with a black taffeta 16th century kirtle, which I've been working on. And I didn't have any materials to make the matching hat, so I picked up this. I got 2 yards even though I only needed a 3/4 yard because this stuff is handy to have around and I will be making more headpieces in the future which I can use it for. The other item that I desperately needed was also for this hat, and those are feathers, and I got 4 ostrich feathers which you may notice are missing because again I've already used them, but I will insert a photo of what they look like or insert a photo of my hat, or maybe I'll do both. And then I got 1 pack of these black geese feathers. I feel kind of ridiculous buying feathers from Joann's because they're $3.49 for a single feather, but I did have my 50% off coupon, so I only ended up paying $10 or so for the 5. Now moving on to some of the fabric, I've been planning, well okay, I haven't really been planning. When I went to Michael's a little while ago, I bought 2 seashells, which I will insert a photo of here, and I thought they were absolutely gorgeous, and I knew I wanted to incorporate them into a costume, but I had no idea what they were going to be turned into. I wasn't sure if I was going to try and make a mermaid tail out of 4 cases of caulking, which I don't think I'm going to do, but it was a thought, or if it was going to be part of a dress or just a bralette type thing for a photo shoot. I really didn't have any ideas, but once I saw these fabrics, I was like, okay, it has to be part of a dress, or at least I have to make a skirt that goes with whatever I end up doing on top. Because these fabrics match it really nicely and they're also really pretty and have an interesting sort of sheen when they're layered over top of each other. So these are the 2 fabrics. I got 5 yards of each of them and they had exactly 5 yards left of both of them, which was great. This first one is almost like a mixture between an organza and a satin. It's got the stiffness and the sort of almost lightweight feeling of organza, but it's more opaque than organza. So I don't think this will drape very nicely, but it will have a lot of volume, and I think I can make that work. So I got 5 yards of that, and it has silver metallic-y threads going through it, so it's super sparkly and has a really beautiful sheen to it. And then I got 5 yards of this organza, and this is a really nice coral mirror organza. I absolutely love the effect of these 2 together. And to make it better, they were both 50% off, and I had my 20% off entire purchase coupon, so I ended up paying $32 for the 10 yards. And since I'm on the topic of that mermaidy shell type of inspired costume, I'll show you the notions I picked up to go with it. So I got 3 of these natural pearls in this lovely coral color, and I haven't worked with real pearls before ever, I don't think. So I'm excited to get to work with these because I'm sure they're a lot nicer than the plastic 99 cents for 100 type of pearls that I'm used to working with. You can definitely tell they're nicer quality just by looking at them because they have a gorgeous sheen to them and they're just really, really pretty, and they match the fabrics I got really nicely. I also got a single strand of these tiny little shells. I think these are really cute. I'm not sure how I'm going to integrate these into the costume, but maybe I can glue them onto the bodice as a sort of embellishment or gradient coming down from the larger seashells I got for bra cups. I don't know, I'll figure something out. And then I got 2 more freshwater pearl strands. These ones are very irregularly shaped, but I think they're really pretty and they would look nice again on the bodice or as part of a headpiece or a crown. They just have a really interesting sheen to them and are a really interesting shape as well. That's it for that project. Moving forward with something less exciting and pretty to look at, I just got a yard of white peach skin. In my last haul, I mentioned my sort of moss-inspired dress, and I realized I didn't have any base fabric to use for the skirt, unless I wanted to use a nice brocade or something, which cost $12 a yard, and I didn't want to do that because it would end up getting covered in moss and tulle and you wouldn't even really see it, so it would just be a waste. So I picked up the peach skin for something like $3 for the yard. Definitely worth it. And then I got some fabrics for a tutorial video I will be doing here. I think I'm going to aim to do 1 tutorial a month and 2 the making of videos a month or vlogs per month, and then 1 other video, which will be a haul or a get ready with me or a costume spotlight or something like that. I think that would be a fun schedule to try and keep. And for one of those tutorials, I decided to make a pleated skirt. And when I was working on my Cinderella costume, I fell in love with the iridescent lame I was using. I just thought it was the nicest fabric ever, and I still feel that way. And it actually ironed really nicely. It pressed into really beautiful pleats, which didn't really work to my advantage with the Cinderella costume since I wanted it to be flowy, but it got me thinking that I could make a really interesting sort of sheer iridescent pleated skirt. Like, that could be awesome and totally impractical, but awesome, and that's like my specialty. So I picked up 2 yards of the iridescent lame, this time in a pinkish color, and it sort of shines green and pearl and really pretty colors. And to go along with that, I got a yard of fabric to line it with, and I can't remember what this fabric was labeled as, but it was 50% off, and I think it was regularly like $4. And then I got 2 yards of tulle to do a ruffle at the bottom. So with all my coupons and everything, it probably cost me $12 for all the materials for this skirt, which I think is pretty good. Okay, I'm back. I had to go let my dogs in. Hopefully the lighting hasn't changed too much in the 10 minutes I was gone. They also had home decor fabric 50% off, which is usually one of my favorite sections, but they actually didn't have a lot in stock. Most of the $14 to $24 fabrics they only had a yard or 2 of, and then what they did have in stock were the more expensive ones, which even when they're 50% off are totally out of my price range. But I did manage to get 3.5 yards of this red fabric and a matching half-yard remnant. And once I got home, I realized that this probably wouldn't be enough to actually make a dress out of, but this is part of their permanent collection, and I'm pretty sure they'll be restocking it, so I can always pick up another yard in the future, and then I'll have enough to make sleeves, as well as the skirt and the bodice. I'm not sure what this is going to be turned into. I know it's going to be a project that I can incorporate embroidery into a front panel on, because I bought some embroidery thread. And when I say some, I mean a lot. I want to do a floral, flowery, greenery type pattern on a white center panel at the front of the bodice. So I don't know what era this costume is going to be from, but it's probably going to be from the mid 1600s or the early 1700s, when stuff like that was pretty common. I got a packet of waxed thick cotton cord. I got this to make an eye patch, or to make the string that holds the eye patch over my eye. I'm making a costume based off of Anna D. Mendoza. I believe that's her name. Not sure about the pronunciation though, because I'm bad at pronouncing things. But she was a princess and a duchess in the 16th century, and due to an injury she got when she was young, she was blind in one eye and she wore an eye patch. So I picked up this because I think it looks nicer on costumes than satin ribbon, and it's a little bit more expensive and it's harder to tie up, which is why I don't use it for my corsets and bodice lacing, but for something which is actually going to be on my face and very visible, I decided to splurge and pay the extra $1 or whatever and get this. I'm really excited about this next purchase, and it's silly to be excited about it because it's something like so basic, but I bought pins. I've had the same packet of pins, and now it's more like a half packet of pins because you inevitably lose at least half of them within the month after you buy them. So I've had maybe 200 pins that I've been using for the last 2 years. And I haven't wanted to replace them because they still kind of work, but half of them are bent and half of those are sort of dull. I haven't wanted to throw the bent ones out because then I won't have enough pins left, and it's just been a mess. So these were 40% off. I had my other coupon, I decided I was going to buy them, and now I'm really excited to finally have pins that work again, and I'm going to dump out my old thing of pins and throw away any of the bent ones. I also got a zipper, just a regular normal pink zipper to go along with the pleated iridescent skirt that I'm planning on making. And then I got 2 things of elastic because I used up pretty much all of my white small elastic on a blouse that I made to go with my black Kirtle taffeta thing, which I've already mentioned a bunch of times. So I don't actually have any elastic around, and even though I don't really need any at this moment, I probably will in the future. So I just went ahead and picked up some. Back to the fabrics. I got 2 things from the spring fabric collection, which was 60% off and ended up being like 80% off with my student discount. So the first one I got is this really pretty powder blue floral fabric, and it's got a base of a very soft feeling organza, which is a little bit more, okay, not really. I was going to say it's a little bit more opaque than that, but it's really not. And then it has a flower pattern woven into it. And this obviously can't be used for a historical costume. It'll have to be turned into a spring dress or something like that, which is a little bit out of the realm of what I usually make. This would be a very normal project for me, but I think I'd be okay with that because in the end, I would have a really pretty blue floral dress, and even if it's a little bit boring to make that, I don't care because I want a really pretty blue floral dress. So that's probably what this will get turned into. And the other fabric from that same line is this brocade, and it's a light pink brocade with silver woven flowers in it. And I love this fabric. It's so wonderfully girly and princessy. I feel like every princess dress I ever wanted as a little girl is made out of fabric like this. That was pink and shiny and not the most comfortable fabric to wear, but shiny. So when I saw it for $5 a yard or whatever it was, I felt like I needed it. And I think I will turn this into a circle skirt, but it'll be multiple circle skirts sewn together with horsehair in the hem, so it'll have a really neat shape to it. So I'm excited. I haven't made a skirt like that since a cosplay I did several years ago, and I ended up throwing out that skirt. So I don't still have it, and I kind of want a new one, and this time it's going to be made out of sparkly, shiny pink fabric, so it'll be even better. The last fabric I got is a denim, and I have not bought denim ever, I don't think. It's really not a fabric, and that's not a section that I go towards very often because it just never has anything I'm interested in. But I really liked this fabric. It's a black denim with a velvet damask pattern and floral pattern printed on top. And I think it's really pretty. It's really subtle, but it has an interesting texture to it. And it feels really nice, and it's a really cool weight. I think I'm going to use this for a woman's vest from the late 1500s, and to go with that I picked up some buttons. I just looked at the buttons I got, and now I'm a little bit annoyed at myself because I got 2 37s, which are one size, and then I got 2 of the 38s, which are a different size. That's okay. These are the type of buttons I reach for pretty often, so they will definitely not go to waste, but that is a little bit frustrating because I thought I had everything here for a new project, and I don't. I also got something that might look familiar if you've seen my last haul, because I bought this in my last haul too. Except last time I bought 6 yards, and this time I only got 1.5 yards. I originally bought this for a medieval gown to hem the skirt of a dress with, and I still plan on doing that, but I realized if I was using fake fur on the hem of a costume, I'd probably want some around the neckline or the sleeve cuffs, or incorporated somewhere else into the dress than just on the hem. So I was very much regretting not getting the extra 2 yards that they had at the time I bought it. But when I went back today, which was more than 2 months later, they had some. They had 2 yards left. And half of that yardage was really damaged, so I just chose not to get it. But I did pick up a 1.5 yards, so now I have enough to use on sleeves or the collar and on the hem of the skirt, and I'm very happy about that. So I also got 2 things of satin ribbon just to lace up the kirtle I'm working on. I mentioned the waxed cordage earlier, which I really like aesthetically. I think it's really cool, but satin ribbon is way easier to use when you're lacing yourself into things because it slides really nicely through the eyelets, which is why I use it more often than any other type of lacing material. And that's it for things I bought for personal costumes and future projects and everything like that. But I did get a few other things I just want to mention really quick. I got all of these beautiful flowers, and these are part of the spring floral collection, so they were 60% off, and they were having a 25% off your entire purchase coupon. So I got all of these beautiful things for $6. And I also got 3 large packets of beads. I got gold ones, I got silver ones, and I got black ones. I also got 10 headbands. And what I planned on doing is making a whole bunch of the skewered embellished crowns, which I had a tutorial up on, and I planned on making a whole bunch of those and listing them on Etsy. And I was really excited. I sort of planned out shipping costs and what I would need and the amount of spray paint and the amount of glue it would take per crown, so the price would be this, and I was just really looking forward to doing it. But unfortunately, every grocery store, Walmart, and Target within a 30-mile radius of my house is completely sold out or does not stock the larger size of skewer. So I couldn't find the skewers I need to be able to make these crowns. Hopefully those skewers will restock soon and I can start up my Etsy store and it'll be great. If that has happened, by the time this video goes up, I will include a link right here and in the description box. So that's it. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this haul. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time, and I will link my other hauls in the description box below in case you haven't seen them and you would like to. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.